Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Tonight we're going a little bit healthy. We are making healthy meatloaf. This is the first time I'm actually ever making a meatloaf the way that this one's going to be done. Normally I don't do it as a free form. It's normally in a loaf pan. So this one's going to be a little bit different. So I'm really hoping that everything that's going to bind it together is going to do its job. This is what we need. I'm going to serve it with some steamed potatoes, which I'm going to do on the double boiler. And on the top, I'm going to sit the carrot, and the beans were in the freezer, so they can just go in the microwave and then join the carrot at the end. So come on in, because we're going to use a few different techniques today, because this is one of those things where you need to do a little bit of preparation. You can either do it the hard way, which takes a while, or you can just get your food processor out and go for it. So that's the way we're going to do it. Let's go. Okay, so first up we'll go through the oven is going to be on 160 fan forced or 180. I'm going to do mine on 160. You also need a normal size pan, like roasting tin or something that you can put it in. You'll need a bowl, and you're going to need your food processor, because we're going to do this the easy way. Okay, ingredients list. 500 grams of extra lean beef mince. That is there. 1 cup of wholemeal breadcrumbs. I'm going to put that in the food processor to start with. So I think from memory, 2 slices will give me that much. If it's not, we'll just do some more. 1 small brown onion, which we're going to grate. It's not a small brown onion, but it'll be fine. We're going to grate that in there. We're also going to do 1 carrot peeled and grated. That's peeled, not grated yet. I'm going to chuck that in through the grater as well. 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce. Use any tomato sauce you like. If you want to just use your everyday tomato sauce, go for it. Otherwise, you can use tomato relish if you want to make it a bit more fancier. 2 tablespoons of chopped flat leaf parsley. I chopped the last lot up and had it in the freezer quite a while ago now. But that is a brilliant way to use that up. 1 egg lightly beaten in the cup. 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce. That's ready to roll. And salt and pepper. Okay, now to serve, we are doing a steamed potato. I'm not steaming it, I'm going to boil it. And then you may have seen me use it before. I've got a little steamer pot that goes on top of said saucepan. So the steam from that will cook the carrot. And I've got the beans ready to fly as well. Alright, so now that you know what's in it, let's get everything into it and let's get it into the oven so we can eat. Alright, so first of all, set up your food processor. So I always leave the food processor ready to go to make crumbs or whatever, because 99% of the time that is what I'm doing with my food processor. So my 2 slices go in. Plug it in would be a good idea. Or not. It's up to you. Alright. Chuck on the lid. Alright. Whiz away. Okay, they do recommend wholemeal breadcrumbs. Obviously, we're going for a healthy option. Therefore, white bread is not a healthy option. But if you want to use white bread, don't just go out and buy a loaf of bread for the sake of this. I've now got most of a loaf of bread to put in the freezer because I don't eat much bread. Very rarely eat bread. I love toast, but I don't do toast anymore. Very weird. I'd lie and say I want toast now, but I don't, so it's all good. Alright, so I'm a little bit under the 1 cup. And given the fact that we're heavily relying on this to actually stand up without having the support of a pan, I am going to get another slice of bread. So, 3 slices is the go. So just bear with me while I grab another piece of bread. So what I'm going to do with the rest of it is I put it into 2s and sandwich bags in the freezer. And on the very rare occasion I feel like I want a toasty or something, I'll just grab them out in the morning. Sometimes I just feel like bacon and eggs or something in a sandwich. Alright. Oh good, don't stress. So 3 slices is 1 cup. Once again, it's hard to say. It's going to depend on what bread you use. So the only reason why it's not enough is because we're firmly packing it in as well. Okay. So in goes that. Alright, so that is fine by my standards. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the food processor ready to do the grating. So, all food processors are different, but seriously, don't waste your time standing over a thing grating this because this will be so much quicker. Now, I'm just going to grate it straight into the bowl that we're using. It's just going to be quicker. So, small kitchen. Don't stress, if I had a big kitchen it'd still be small sometimes. That's just my theory for today, okay? That can go in the wash. Alright. So, turn it on. Oh, look at that. See that? Sit there grating it? Hell no. I'm going to have to chop that up smaller though. Just going to have to chop the onion up a bit smaller. But check that out. I've just grated a carrot in however long, and my fingers are still fine. Of course I washed my knife up that I cut my onion with earlier. Why would I not do that? Alright. So the idea when you use said implement, make sure that everything's going to fit down that don't call it the garbage chute, down the chute. Okay, it's all got to fit down the chute. Alright, here we go again. Now you've got a pusher. With this one, I think it's all collecting it in the bowl. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's grating it, I don't care. Alright, that's done. It's not where I wanted it to go, but ew. It's grated. It's all in the chute. Alright. I'm going to get all that out and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm super happy with that. It's all grated and all in there. Excellent. Okay, so into the bowl we are adding the mince. So this is the premium extra lean beef mince, which I had my butcher explain to me. It's a lot more minced than the other mince because, silly me, I decided to do 2 mince recipes, and I said, how am I going to know which one's which? So this one's a lot finer minced, as you can see. I'll show you the difference when I use the next one. Very soon, actually. Alright, so they're going in. The onions in, the carrots in, the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are in. Our tomato sauce, our parsley and our egg. Not our barbecue sauce. They've got a surprise for the barbecue sauce. It's not really a big surprise, but I'll tell you about it in a moment. Alright, in we go. I'm not a fan of tomato sauce, by the way, so I only use it for cooking. So therefore I'm quite happy to be using it today. Okay, we also need the egg in there. And finally, we need the parsley. Okay, now you can see the crust in the background. You can either eat those to make your hair curly, or you can chuck them. So you don't need those. Sometimes I have them just so that I've got a little bit of a snack, but otherwise they're in the bin. Seems a waste, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to grab something to stir that with. It does tell us to use our hands after. Alright, once it's all mixed in, we're going to season it to our heart's content with the salt and pepper. Once again, that's a personal preference, however much you want. Keep in mind it's healthy, so you're not really supposed to go overboard with it, but I guess the idea is to try not to put too much sauce or whatever all over it. Alright, that'll do for that. Just got a few little grinds left in this pepper, and then it can go. So frustrating. Alright, I'm going to get the other one. I need to buy new ones, but they seem to last forever. If I go to buy new ones, I'll never start them. So I'm not going to buy new ones just yet. Okay. Set the barbecue sauce aside. We're using that later. Okay, so now what we need to do, we're going to use our hands to mix this. And this is just so that we can get it all really mushed in and mixed in and molded well. We're going to shape it into a 10 by 18 centimeter rectangle. I'm not going to get my tape measure out. We're just going to do it by guess. Alright, I also think the easiest way to do this is going to be to put it straight on what we're cooking it in and shape it in this. So this is a free-form meatloaf, which, as I say, I have never cooked a free-form meatloaf before. This is, I guess this is the way to do it, because normally when you make meatloaf, it all comes away from the sides and you get a crap ton of fat out of it. Like seriously, a lot of fat comes out of it. We're not going to get fat coming out of this because it's lean mince, but also it's not going to be cooking in it. So this is going in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes or until it's firm to touch. Once we take it out, we're going to take out the excess fat, and then we're going to put the barbecue sauce over the top into the oven for another 10 minutes. So I'll see you in about 25 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to get my potato and my carrot on. Okay, so my buzzer's just gone off for 25 minutes, so I'm going to have a squizzy at it. So let's have a look. Ooh. There it is. It seems to be firm. It did say it needed to be firm. Till firm to touch. Remove from oven and drain excess fat. Okay, so not a good idea to stand here with the door open, might I add. See, there's not much fat on it. That's a bonus. So I'm just going to drain that fat off. Yep. Actually, it's really hard to drain the fat off it for the reason that it's just started to move. So I'm just going to get the barbecue sauce, chuck it over the top. Come here, have a look. It's only just hanging on by the skin of its teeth here. So drizzle the barbecue sauce over the top. Going to grab a little spoon and get the rest of that out. I really don't like balancing it there, but the problem is that I've still got my potato cooking. There's no point in, smoothing it out, because it's going to do that on its own. Alright, back in for 10 minutes, or until the top is glazed. So you will actually see that will start to glaze. So I'm going to see you in 10. And if you want to just have a quick look in my magic saucepan over here, I don't know if I'll get there. There you go. You can see the beans. Let me just put the timer on 10 minutes. Okay. So the carrots and beans should be ready. See, that's how I cooked them. They sat on top. So the steam from the potatoes cooked this. The way to tell if they're done, grab a knife and just stab them. They appear to be done. And the carrots are done. So I'm going to turn those off. And I'll see you soon. Okay, so I gave it about an extra 5 minutes just because I really wanted this glaze to start and run down, as you can see. It looks like a cake, actually. Looks really good. So after 5 minutes of letting it stand, you can cut it up, serve it up with your veggies, and enjoy. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been Healthy Meatloaf. Hope you feel healthy after it, and I'm going to catch you on our next adventure soon. Bye!